neither one of us were ever interested in playing pastor and first lady. Yeah. We're very much human beings first, children of God, and that means we're being sanctified. Mm-hmm. Like I still say, the first 7 years of our marriage were brutal. And you would see, like some people, you can see new people in the crowd being like, the number of people that were like, the second you said that, I knew I could be here.
Yeah. All right, so we're on the road, Family Life Today on the road. I don't know where we are. Where are we?
You are in Highland Village, Texas, a suburb of Dallas.
I thought we were in Flower Mound.
No, that's directly across the street.
It's so close. We're all like...
Did you know where we were?
I have not. I'm just following you wherever we go.
We were sitting in Matt and Lauren Chandler's family room, right? Is that what it is? No, we're in your church.
Lauren, this is the student building.
Was this the original church, though?
This was. The original, it's just like an old ranch-style building right there that I can see. Nobody else can, but it, Lauren... that was the original. This was built in 86, and now we're about a mile down the road in a storefront.
So when you were first preaching, was it here?
It was right here.
Really?
Yep.
And is this only for students now?
Really, students pretty much are here, but it's about to get an upgrade, and then young adults and men's, it'll have all sorts of fun things to do. And so for now, though, this is students. There'll be hundreds of them here tonight.
Really cool.
Yeah.
Isn't this fun to get to interview them? We've always wanted to be with Matt and Lauren.
And here we are.
Here we are.
And I'm sure you've always wanted to be with us, too.
Yes.
Well, we were just talking about that a couple weeks ago, life plan.
Yeah,
we were like, if we can.
Wilson, that old
if
couple.
we can this year.
We are honored. We are so honored to be
Well, give us a little bit of your history, not just the church, but your marriage. I know you got 3 kids.
Yes.
They're old now, which means you're old. So tell us a little
feel
bit.
it.
He's old.
Yeah,
You're not, Lauren.
I remind everybody I'm much younger than
I
he
do
is,
too.
right?
I don't think you have to say it. I think it's pretty
right.
clear just looking at us.
Well, it's
Either that or like he's lived really hard. No, we've been married 25, almost 26 years.
This is a big one. So you just during
We just
your
celebrated 25.
Yes.
This is 26.
And it was an interesting summer. I think we're actually going to celebrate it this coming summer.
Got a surprise for you.
Do you?
I do,
Yeah.
but not saying anything because it's a
So,
surprise.
and I
You
like
got
to
a
be
surprise?
I've got a
surprised, so I don't
surprise.
want to know
I'm
yet.
surprising her.
I want to be surprised.
That's right. And now that's risky.
Yeah.
You surprise
a
woman like Lauren, it's risky. Because
Really?
it could...
But she likes it.
What do
She
you mean?
likes
like
the
surprises.
surprise, but then once the surprise is
It's like,
there, it could be
surprise
like,
me, but read my mind.
Better be the right surprise.
which I'm glad I have a good prophetic gift. So
I surprised Ann one time. She was visiting her sister or something for like a week. I got my buddy Rob, said, we're painting the family room. And we watched Hoosiers. We painted the family room. She comes walking in. We're like, watch this. I filmed it. And Rob's like, she didn't like it.
I'm
I
like,
go,
oh.
she hated it. She didn't just like it. So you're right. You never know.
I would never touch the house. Like I grew up
I was young.
white walls, overhead lights.
Okay.
I mean, that's how I grew up. I never lived in a house that had paint on the walls or a lamp. And Lauren, like one of our adjustments is beauty matters to Lauren in a way I did not grow up with.
Yes.
So I had to learn to walk through a dark room to try to find a lamp, even though there's a switch right here.
We have compromised on dimmer switches on our overhead lights.
There we go.
So, you can flip it on, but don't have it full power unless you're looking for something.
There we go. There's compromise.
I've learned.
Yeah.
I've learned the same thing.
Okay.
And I literally wipe off every kitchen counter and bathroom counter.
Yeah.
I can't stand spots because she's trained me.
Yeah. I feel some of that in me.
I don't do the toilet, but we still
right.
do that.
That's great.
My guess
me
is you're
sad.
the one that's messing the toilet anyway. But anyway, that's probably too much for the podcast.
Yeah, too much for Family Life Today.
Okay, so kids.
So we've got 3 kids. Our oldest is married. She's been married for about a year. Then we have a 19-year-old son who's in school and working. And then we have a 15-year-old daughter. So we are, who was at PAO with me
Yeah, I
saw
last
her.
time I saw you guys. Yeah,
I saw you guys walking through the lobby.
Just a tall, beautiful, gregarious, wonderful soul.
great.
And she's, they're great hangs. Yeah.
Are you feeling that as they're getting older? Like, you're not that far away from being empty nesters.
Yes.
Which is awesome, by the way.
No, we're not. I don't think we're nervous about it.
No. Well, and they've kind of stuck close. I'm not sure about the third born. You know,
Yeah.
she's talking about California, Florida, and I'm like, okay, we'll just come visit you. But the other 2, they like being around.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of neat to see them grow into their own and become adults and to
fun.
watch them have to adult.
I'd want to hang out with you guys. Maybe we should move here.
Hey, come on.
I'm not moving to Texas.
No.
I love snow and I'm minus 10 degree Michigan. It's awesome.
Yeah, you're not going to get it here.
Well, Michigan
you get like
summers,
He's kidding.
3 days of it here.
Yeah.
You get 3 days of 10. We have begun to. I was just talking to somebody yesterday. It's just like this new season where there have been rhythms and disciplines in place so that we can be the kind of mom and dad and husband and wife and friends that we want to be. And it just feels like I'd never had email on my phone until recently.
Wow.
Because I had this process where I'd put my hands on my desk, would thank God that he was going to keep working, because ministry's never done it. Like I'm building a deck,
right?
And I can be like, the deck's done. Let me go home and have a beer and watch the game. Like there's always something, always a crisis, always. So I'd put my hands on my desk. I would thank God that he was going to keep working and I didn't have to. And then I'd drive home, and then I had a little driveway prayer, because I never knew what I was walking into when the kids were little. They have Chandler blood, which is... It's destructive and energetic, and lots of energy.
We have 3 sons. We understand.
So 3 boys will do it.
You do.
We at least got the 2 girls, but then
I was gonna say,
at least that's probably
enough energy
overspoken.
for a boy.
So I would have this little prayer in the driveway because I didn't know what I was walking into, and I would just try to remind my heart it's been given to me and me alone to be Lauren's husband and these kids' daddies. And my friend J.R. Vassar always called it second shift. Like you're not done when you get home. It's like second shift. And your second shift's usually more important ultimately than your first one. And so I had that kind of second shift mentality. How can I walk in and be helpful? Imperfectly executed. Oh my gosh, imperfectly executed. But so now we're in a season where there's rarely chaos when I come home.
Yeah.
We just have a 15-year-old.
Or if there's anyone there at all.
Yeah, that would be a big thing.
She's about to drive, and her friends are driving, and so she's kind of got her own social life.
Total extrovert, wants to go, likes to play.
I mean, Lauren, is that how it lived out? Because I'd love to talk marriage in ministry, because we did it, and we almost lost our marriage.
Yeah.
The year we started our church, I was planting this church and obsessed, couldn't see it.
Yeah.
I wanted to do what Matt you just said, but I often I prayed that prayer, and then I walked in the house and brought it with me.
Yeah.
Right.
And then she's like, "You're not even here," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not. See y'all. I really want to be over there anyway."
Yeah.
And we almost lost our marriage, so it's hard because it never turns off.
Yeah.
And you're passionate about it, and it's the kingdom of God, and she felt like she couldn't compete with that.
Right.
So how's that been for you guys? From day one, has it been hard or good or easy or all the above?
All the above. I would say at first, when we got to the church and this building that we're sitting in right now.
Were you early married?
I was 22, pregnant with our first child, and he was 28. And
he is an older man, isn't he?
Yeah, he is an. I
That's why she
told
likes
you.
to bring that up. She likes to bring it up.
Much younger.
I don't know that we've ever done one of these where that didn't come out. That's actually later than it usually comes out. Usually the first thing, you don't even ask her. She's like, "I'm 6 years younger."
Anyway, so I was becoming a new mom. Yeah. We'd been married for a couple years, so it was all very
weren't doing well.
New. Yeah, it was a tough season.
What do you mean you weren't doing well? Just struggle?
We had a really rough first 7 years.
We did.
Really?
Yeah,
really
I think
rough.
we were still maturing clearly, and we had a lot of baggage, and he had more than I did, but I had plenty, and it looked just prettier.
I like to say that Lauren came into the marriage with a backpack of baggage,
well,
and I
maybe
came
a carry-on.
I came in with you would need a pretty powerful locomotive to pull my baggage.
Very similar.
But it's okay,
we were similar, 25
you had 6 more years to live. So
that's what I'm saying. Those are hard years.
That's right.
So a lot of people are listening that thinking, we have so much baggage. We don't even know what to do with it.
Yeah.
There's so much. How do you even start?
Yeah. I think we made solid attempts at first that were a little bit misguided, I would say. Some of it was, for me, okay, I just need to try harder, pray more, read my Bible more. I just need to be better. And, in my journals, Lord, help me be a better wife, all these things. Without really getting to the heart of what I was experiencing, where it was this desire to be good. If I've struggled with my whole life, it's with perfectionism and people pleasing and performing. Like, what do you want me to do? I can do it. And that's even how I was with the Lord, of just being like earning and performing his love.
Yeah.
And so I would say, gosh, it wasn't until our second was born. When I was 25, I started going to Celebrate Recovery at our church.
Did you really?
We were starting a recovery program, Celebrate Recovery.
Most honest people in the church. I think.
Everybody should go.
No doubt.
There's not
They
a
don't
person
hide their
that shouldn't
stuff.
go.
Yes,
Yeah.
they're not hiding. And
Yeah.
I was like, he had gone through counseling. I had done some counseling, but I was 25, had a 3-year-old, maybe I had a baby at that point, our second born. And I just had hit a wall where I was like, I cannot do it anymore.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to get at these deep-seated insecurities in my heart that just were not coming out. And I was like, I'm going to go to Celebrate Recovery. And the man
Which
that was
is
teaching,
pretty crazy. The pastor's wife
Yeah.
is
Okay.
showing up there.
So
I don't know
to
another
be
pastor's
fair,
wife that has done
To
that.
be fair, it was kind of the big kickoff. And so Matt had invited everyone to come to Celebrate Recovery. And so I was like, I'm going to go. Sitting in the front row and hearing the man, speak on these, he gave an illustration of this beautiful field that the Lord wanted to plant, but there are all these weeds in it. And, the person was trying to pull the weeds up and they're mowing over it, but nothing was working. And I mean, he was reading my mail. I was like, nothing's working for me. I don't know how to do this. And at the end, he kind of gave this altar call, this opportunity to just surrender. And you would go up there and you pick up this poker chip and you'd hug somebody and then you go back to your seat. And I remember thinking, I want to surrender. I've tried and I cannot do it. I think I understood as best I could the grace of God, but it really had not penetrated my heart. So I believe I knew the Lord and I had a relationship with him. I was 8 years old when I got saved, but I was still bound up in a lot of perfectionism and people pleasing. And that day, I remember the opportunity passed and I was so mad at myself. So I was like, why didn't I do it? But all these things were playing in my head, like, you're the pastor's wife. What are people going to think? Yeah. And so, it came back around at the very end. They offered it one more time. Yeah. And you could not hold me down. I was going straight up there. Yeah. But I think that was the beginning of breakthrough for me and healing, like complete healing in our marriage.
Could you see it, Matt?
Yeah.
Well, I was such a jerk at the time, and I'm being honest, where she's like, I just need to pray harder. I just need to be better. And I'm thinking, yeah, you do. Because, I'm telling you, to my shame, because like every other area of my life is gold. Every other area of my life was gold. I am beloved here. I am traveling and preaching. I am, and then there's this area of my life that's broken and cold and I didn't, I was just like, yes, let me pray for you. Yeah. It was so awful. And I said awful things. And so, but there was this moment of grace where I was being a baby. I was just being a baby. And we were in my kitchen and I'm like, I'm not going to be, I made like a covenant with God. It's so terrible. I'm just like, I'm not going to be my dad. I'm not going to be explosive. I'm just not going to be that. So what I would do when I was upset is just get icy. And so, which is just such a baby. And I was frustrated for something that didn't even make sense. Something I'd made, a story I was telling myself that wasn't true. And I'm in the kitchen and I'm just like ignoring being icy towards her. And she's like, are you okay? Well, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm not. And I think I'm winning. Yeah. That's what's crazy. I'm not exploding. I'm not.
I'm winning.
I'm doing amazing here. I'm the freaking best husband ever. So I'm not screaming. I'm not
my dad.
That's right. That was the way. It's anti-vision rather than vision. So I didn't know this is the kind of husbands God's calling me to. I was going, I won't be this. Just a surefire way to become that. Yeah. Just a little bit different. Yeah. So you need vision to pull you forward. This is the kind of husband God's calling me to. Now let me live into that.
That's good.
I don't want to be these things. I think you become those things. I think anti-vision leads you in that direction. And so I'm in the kitchen. I'm just pouting and slamming and feeling sorry for myself. And, she came around the island and just hugged me and just said, hey, I don't know what's going on in you. But I love you and I'm not going anywhere. And I went, oh, this is a family program. I won't tell you what I thought, but I was like, oh crap, it's me. It's not her, it's me.
It was both of us.
And so, but I could see clearly at that moment that all of the, get better at that was gone in me. And I was like, no, I've got something broken in me. And that's when I went and started to get help. And then, these things are starting to happen simultaneously. And then now you got to figure out, okay, how do we do this now? We've been in this dance, at that point, probably 5 years. Yeah. And then the next 2 that we would say 7 were hard. The next 2 were learning a new dance, learning how we're going to fight, how we're going to express ourselves, how vulnerable can we be? What can I actually trust you with?
Do you think every marriage has to come to that realization, oh, it's me?
Yes.
I think the best marriages do.
Me too.
Yes.
The best marriages do.
I was so prideful thinking if Dave would get his act together, we could be great. And then I had that thing oh, it's me.
Yeah.
It's so humbling.
It was always me, though.
But it's both. That's what I mean.
Was.
I think that's the start of getting rid of our baggage.
Man, it was wonderfully crushing.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was wonderfully crushing.
Yes.
I mean, and also, in the ministry, your story is very similar because you can find your life outside the home.
No question.
Because you're in a position where you have power and the lights are on you and you're
No
preaching
question.
and all that stuff. And I said to her, and it's part of our story, and many of our listeners have heard it, but I didn't say it to her in our kitchen. I said it to her on stage in front of 1,000 women that she asked me to come speak with her at, that I feel like everywhere I go outside the home, I get cheered and I come home and I get booed.
Yeah.
I said that to the women. I try and say, hey, ladies, this is how it feels for us all. And I look over at Ann. She's like, what just happened?
Man.
He's never said that to me ever.
Can you imagine that drive home is like, you think I'm booing you? I'm helping you. I'm
Trying
not
to serve you.
But there's also that part of me
But
where,
that's ministry.
Lauren, you're more kind. You're trying to be a perfectionist. I am the one that's more verbal than Dave. So I'm like, oh, you think you're so amazing. Oh, Dave, you're so amazing. Like, maybe you could be that here. So, either
what
way,
did it look like as you transitioned
to a new dance?
7 years in and you're starting this new dance?
Yeah, I think both of us were trying to grow in trusting each other with the parts of us that were super tender.
Yes.
And then learning, oh gosh, that just triggered the heck out of me. What was that?
Yeah. The
like,
root.
why that is not personal, and that felt deeply personal to me. And I know her. I know she's not trying to poke that.
Yeah.
And so then it was just, trying and failing at, hey, gosh, we're still doing it. I mean, it just happened yesterday morning.
It'll probably never end.
No, but now we've got language.
Tell us about yesterday morning.
Yeah, we want to hear.
Yeah, it's so I can get I can get just like a low-grade agitation that's not tied to anything. I have no idea.
Why
It's
are you
just
poking me?
a low-grade agitation.
me.
I think it has to do with expectations.
Yeah.
And so
it does.
this
I
is
think so.
this is a week for us. I mean, this is a long full week.
And here we are.
And here we are. Well, you know what? Just jam that in there.
Can we get
What
you in
can
here
happen?
talking about your marriage?
And so I woke up early, and I had some things that I needed to get done. I've got deadlines that other people are waiting on, and so I got up early to kind of tackle that. And then Lauren got up. She actually got up earlier than I was expecting her to get up, and came in, and I got her coffee. That's kind of a ritual, and set her coffee, buy her Bible and her journal.
Sweet.
Then I sat back down, and then she was like, did I tell you about my conversation with Sarah yesterday? and then I'm just thinking, oh my gosh, I thought
I waited long. I thought I waited for a good moment. Apparently I did not.
And then, I know what's right.
I know.
But my heart and its knowledge of what's right versus what it wants is a very real internal battle.
Yep.
For all
And
of
so
us.
I literally shut my computer. I turned and faced her.
Wow.
But in my head, I'm thinking, surely this is over in 3 to 5 minutes.
That long?
Listen, I don't know. That's what I'm telling you. The state of my heart was not such that I could take time.
Yeah.
I'm just I'm looking at her in her face. I am not with her. I am not, man. I am.
Fooled me.
In my heart.
You're just telling the
I
story.
am in my heart going, if I don't get that done by the time I leave to do this, I am going to owe a lot of people an apology. And so I'm just, and then, okay. I mean, I get it. All right. And then that made me it just set like this low-grade agitation. So then I'm snapping at Nora to get out of it. She's like, 15 more minutes. And I'm like, no, you told me this was the time you wanted to get up. I'm not letting you switch the time. So feet on the floor. And then I was just chirpy. Well, I don't think I was rude. I was just short.
No, you're just short.
And so then I'm in the bathroom. I'm about to leave. I got the thing done. And I was just like, hey, I've got that thing going on in me. It's not about you. I'm just, like, I can just feel I'm a little agitated. I've got a lot going on. I've got a lot. So that would have, we had to learn how to do that.
I like that
in
language.
those 2 years.
I've got that thing going on in me.
Yes.
And as a
because
married
I don't
couple,
understand it.
you know it.
You know.
Yeah, she knows it. I don't
Yeah.
understand. Like, what is that? Like, I love this woman.
I said it to Dave at the airport a few days ago.
Yeah.
I'm like, ooh, there's something going on. It's that same thing. It's just snappy.
Yes.
And when it's not about me, I can laugh at it.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's always is it about me?
It's not like, oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, well, you can help me with the other stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, how did the Celebrate Recovery thing, help you? You know, it's really funny. I
Yeah.
preached Sunday at a church. I'm sort of new there. And this lady, one of the ushers, I was trying to do that. I'm going to go out in the lobby and meet people.
Yeah.
And so I'm doing it. I'm walking back in the auditorium, and this woman goes, hey, I've been wanting to share this with you. And she hands me the poker chip from Celebrate Recovery. And I didn't realize what it was.
Yes.
And I took it and left.
Yes.
I'm like, thanks. And then she goes, wait, it's
No,
mine.
I'm just showing you that. That's an Ebenezer.
This meant so much to her.
Surrender
I'm like, oh, thanks. I put it in my pocket. She goes, what is your problem? I'm like,
Buddy, you know what that is?
No idea.
I mean, but that really changed something to help you
Yeah,
way
it did.
back?
I went through the steps. Yet I think I grew up First Baptist, Longview, Texas. It was a wonderful home, church home to grow up in. But, doing the chants that you do, like kind of like AA. And so it was very, it was just unsettling, but in the best way, where it felt uncomfortable. But I was like, this is good for me to feel uncomfortable and to kind of shake things up of just what I do.
So you went through the whole program.
I went through steps. I led a group through steps.
Wow.
It was really freeing to kind of answer these questions in a confidential setting with people I didn't really know well, and to be vulnerable and for them to look at me. I mean, there were answers that I gave that I thought, surely they're going to look at me like my head is coming off, but they didn't. They're like, okay, thanks for sharing. I was like, oh my gosh, like I didn't die. They didn't run out the door, So it was very freeing to be vulnerable, and then just to have the grace of God actually meet my heart, to see the things that I thought were okay that weren't okay, to try to be perfect, to try to be good. Isn't that honorable? I was like, no, Jesus did that for you.
Yeah.
And yes, do we want to live a life that pleases him? Absolutely. But we cannot earn his love and his favor. He just gives it freely. Yeah. And so that was something that I needed to work into my heart more deeply than I knew
that's
before.
good. I saw an interview, I don't know if you saw it, maybe last year, Carrie Newhoff with John Christ.
Oh, yes.
And John did that, and he said every person should go through Celebrate Recovery. I'm
totally
you are
totally believe it.
Our big tagline here at the Village is, it's okay to not be okay, but God doesn't leave us there.
Yeah.
So we have a huge recovery culture here.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
There have been seasons where it's more of the front door than Sunday services.
Yeah.
And almost every
We
time
love
we
it.
had mass baptisms where we were baptizing, not like stuff you see in the news. We never baptized like 1,000 people on a Sunday. But when we would baptize 30, 40 people and they would read their testimonies, 80% of them came through recovery.
Great.
And I think you guys model that, because you can say go to Celebrate Recovery, but what you model is that authenticity of just saying, man, we messed up this week, just 2 days ago.
Yeah.
And I think people are relieved, like,
Well, it doesn't help anybody for me to stand up there and wear a cape. Like, that's not going to help anybody.
Right.
No.
It's going to hurt them.
Yes.
And I won't
They
do
hide.
it. I won't do it.
They do.
And so we have done a good job. And then I would just say, like I still say, the first 7 years of our marriage were brutal.
Yeah.
And you would see, like some people, you can see new people in the crowd being like, I always have to go, my wife knows I'm saying that. It wasn't like she was laying in bed next to me during that season
mutual.
going, all my girlhood dreams have come true in this, man. We were both in a tough spot.
Yeah.
And then the number of people over, I've been here, it'll be 23 years this year. The number of people that were like, the second you said that, I knew I could be here.
Yeah.
Right. And so neither one of us were ever interested in playing pastor and first lady.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like we're very much human beings first, children of God, and that means we're being sanctified.
Do you think all couples need a group where they can totally be themselves and reveal their struggle?
I think
so.
Deep healing only takes place in community.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
I don't think you can deeply heal by yourself.
I mean, what's that look like for you guys? Because I'm thinking of listeners, watchers, not having that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's it look like?
And how do they get it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They want to be in your group, so we're going to invite them to be in your group.
Mine is very close.
It's been
now.
set for a while, and that is such a hard question to answer, unfortunately, because it's so different for people, where you find that community. Yeah. Because there has to be reciprocity there. You have to find people that want it too, and that are willing to be as vulnerable as you're wanting to go. Yeah. And sometimes it's a home group. Sometimes it's group like couples within a home group that you can just kind of feel, okay, I think they're wanting some of the same things we're wanting. Yeah. I think it helps to have proximity to either be working together or
kids
in
the same school.
Yep.
And so I think just keeping your eyes open, asking the Lord to show you, okay, who are people in our lives already that you are kind of drawing towards some vulnerability, and just using discernment with that. And I think it probably does take kind of taking the first step and kind of seeing, hey, that we are wanting this? Are you guys wanting this? I don't know. I feel like you probably get this question more than I do.
I mean, do you have the same couples for years?
Yes.
Yeah.
Years
and
years.
there's been some flex because some have moved away.
Right.
But there are two couples in particular. It's been like 15 years.
Well, with one of them 20.
Yeah, one of them 20 and then
one 15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had the same thing, and it's interesting that at one point we didn't know it, but one of the wives was having an affair.
Oh yeah, yes.
And nobody knew.
Yeah.
And then it came out, and
I remember I knew something was going on.
Yeah.
I remember walking with her saying, I don't know what's going on, but I want you to know, and I just said this out of nowhere. I didn't think it was happening. Even if you would have an affair, we would be right with you.
Yes.
We'd be right beside you.
Yes.
And then it came out that week that was happening.
and they made it.
They made it.
And they wouldn't have made it without this group.
Oh, I believe it.
No, you better be embedded.
Yes.
That's why I was trying to say, hey, the command in the scripture is not that you go to church, but that you belong to one.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Those are two
good.
very different ideas. So I had a man talk to me. He said every man, it was kind of a leadership kind of thing where he's like, every man needs a king's table. And he was using David as an example. They need a Joab who's like, what hill are we taking? What battle are we fighting? What? And then they need a Nathan to go, you're an idiot. Like, I can't believe you didn't see this. I can't believe you didn't fear the Lord. I can't believe. And then you need a Jonathan, a guy that just loves your soul. And he was pointing out that on David's ascent, all three of those guys are present. But then Jonathan dies. And here comes Bathsheba. Yeah. And without that other man that's the lover of your soul, he's not tied to your platform. He's not tied to you being the CEO. He's not tied to your success. He just loves who God made you. And it's this kind of deep friendship of care and concern where he'll just, like my guy, he'll just go, you all right? You just seem off. Or in that meeting, you were pretty quick to power up when it didn't feel like that was necessary. Everything all right? How's Lauren? Do I need to call Lauren? And Lauren knows him really well. And so I have tried to kind of take that idea of a king's table and go, who's the older man that I'm saying any inconsistency in me pointed out? I don't want any difference between who I'm on stage, who I am with my wife, and who I am. So he's got the proximity. Tell me. So my elders know if at my year in review, I find out something that you don't like that I'm doing, I am going to be a special kind of angry. If you just sat on that for 6 months and waited for I want it quick, fast, real time. That's how I learn. But I think that you have to invite it because most people don't know how to do this. And so by saying, I want to be a man of integrity, I don't want any secrets. I mean, I share my tax returns with these guys. Like, I don't want anybody to ever walk up to me and go, guess what I found out about you, and have anything in me go, what?
Yeah.
Like, no. You have full access to my life. She has she can look at my phone whenever she wants. She can and does. And like, who you texting with? And like, I don't want to live.
I'm just curious. I'm not paranoid.
Not at all.
Is that this guy that shared that with you? Did you say it was a guy that shared it with you?
Yeah.
Is that a book? That should be a book.
It should be.
You should write
and
that
I'm
book, Matt.
nobody write this until I can get to it.
I just took notes. It's done.
It's fine.
And I think it's true for women too. You wouldn't call it the
Queen's table.
Queen's table.
We call it the Queen's table. Yeah.
In fact, I shot on my podcast, The Overcomers, me and two of these guys that are in that circle. We sat and we just talked about this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, what does it actually look like? How is it built over the years?
Yeah.
What's the price that's paid? What's the benefit for the price paid? And in the comments on YouTube, they're like, when's Lauren going to do the Queen's table? And I was like, I'll talk to her. She needs to get on here.
What do you guys do in terms of boundaries? Because in ministry, we talked early about that. And then as our church grew and grew and grew, it's like, wow, we got to have boundaries. Women come up to me after a sermon and they want prayer. And I'm like, go talk to her. It's like, we had to have those. So what'd that look like for you?
I don't mentor or meet with women that aren't Lauren. We have a beautiful staff of really gifted women ministers. And they are more than willing and available.
Yeah.
But I don't disciple women. I don't meet alone with women. I mean, they might come into a room that I'm in with a triage kind of moment for one reason or another. But but then we do have friends that are the opposite sex, but in an appropriate way.
Right. Yeah.
Let's shift it, because you guys, I feel like everything you're talking about is like this wealth of information. But I also want to hear about parenting. And so we were talking, and let me just say too, one of the things I love about you two in terms of your relationship is your friendship.
We have a lot of fun.
I know, you can tell, you can see it even on Instagram, on posts, like they really like each other.
We do.
That's why we're not worried ultimately about, we'll miss. When Nora's gone, it'll be a transition.
It will be.
But we have not cultivated a life where we have to get to know each other.
You can
You're
see that.
gonna love it.
Oh, we are.
Because we're that way, and it's a joy.
Yeah.
I mean, even sometimes when I come over now, I'm like, what are you doing here? I'm supposed to be here. Get out of here.
We're trying to go, what can we do? Our hobbies don't overlap, so we're trying to go develop a...
he does jujitsu.
You gotta go pickleball.
I love pickleball. And we have dominated lately.
We've been 7-0 on our last little team.
Let's go.
We're about to build a pickleball court out there.
We're putting one in our yard.
One in our yard,
Oh, that'd be so
probably
fun.
more committed than we are.
And then I think I'm really invested in, even though I'm not on staff at the Village, I'm really invested in the Village and his role. And I love talking shop at home. I'm like, what's going on? How can I pray? I'll give feedback on what I think. So he loves that.
So how have you built the friendship?
I actually do.
You do.
I did too. I always loved it. You want their feedback. You want their wisdom.
Like a matriarchal authority who's she's just got prophetic skills that are greater than mine. And so I've often told even guys in preaching, I'm like, if my voice has blessed you, then you've heard Lauren's voice.
It's so sweet.
So I'm always, I want it from her. She sees differently than I do, and I need it.
Yeah, we both need it.
And so I've not been the guy that were like, I'm not talking shop with you because you won't be able to forgive them later, or I've just not been that guy.
Yeah.
She has not shown herself.
Has she ever texted you while you're preaching and told you what to do on the stage?
No, but she has been quick after to go, that's not a real word.
This is Dave's security. He goes,
did it Sunday. She's watching the stream.
If you're listening to me and you think, you could add this or do this.
Oh, I do. Every sermon.
You ask me. You say that
you invited
and it was
her.
live
I usually want it to be at least a minute.
It'll come up on his
Maybe she forgot.
Yeah.
She was afraid she'd forget. And she was like, let me make this note now.
This would be helpful right
and
here.
She's always right. She's 100% right.
No doubt.
So how have you built the friendship? If it isn't common interest...
I just think we like each other.
We do. We just like each other. We like spending time with each other. And I think we have common interest.
We like good food.
Yeah, food.
We like hotels. We like nice hotels.
stories.
That's so worldly, but we like it.
It's okay. It's all right.
We like a nice hotel.
We're bougie like that. But yeah, I think just we've always liked each other.
Yeah.
And we've always been, he's always been my best friend.
Yeah.
And so
What would you say to the couples that are thinking, we don't have that?
Right.
Yeah. So the friendship with anyone has to be cultivated. Like it just has to be cultivated. And I know somebody's like, well, I met this guy, we were thinking, and I'm just going, probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not. You chose some proximity, you chose some time, you chose, and then the thing, we both deeply love the Lord and love to watch him work.
Yes.
And Lauren writes songs and sings, and she teaches and she writes, and I'm preaching and writing and leading, and that becomes a space where now we're talking a lot about the kingdom. We're talking a lot about what God's doing in our heart, what he's doing in this place, what he's doing through this thing God's given us to do.
Isn't it fun?
It's so fun. It's just the best because it's never going to be over. It's just the next season.
Yeah.
And
is there an aspect that's like the spiritual part of your relationship? Because I know for us, sometimes I separated that as a pastor. I'm like leading the congregation, and I come home and there was a sense that she's like, "Could you lead me?" Not like preach a sermon at me, but be as passionate at home about God as you are on the stage.
Yes, that's it.
Have you experienced it, or how do you?
I think probably
navigate
Lauren has longed for me to do that more than I have. Do you think?
I think so. You do a good job. But definitely when you do set the tone for our home, and when you seem to be on fire, and not that you're not always on fire, but there are seasons. You can't always maintain that.
Yeah.
It just has an exponential effect on me, on the kids.
Yeah.
It
Lauren,
really
have you ever
does.
said this one time, and our listeners have heard this?
She knew. She's like,
you guys, you can tell that I'm like a verbal
I won't go
processor.
to the full-blown thing, but the short version is one time after a long weekend of preaching, and I was even on the sideline with the Lions, so it was a football season.
Lions chaplain.
Oh,
and so I'm exhausted Sunday night, preached, I think, 7 times. Anyway, I lay in bed, and she literally says out loud.
Wait. I first said, man, I watch you preach and pray. I'm like, yes.
No, you didn't say any of that. She said right out of her mouth.
I love this.
I wish the guy that led our
remember.
church lived here. That's what she said.
Oh my word!
No, I said the beginning part.
No, you did not. No, you
You're
didn't.
so good at praying.
No, I asked
that a
her.
different time?
I'm laying there. She said, I wish the guy led our church lived here. And I turned to her. I go, what do you mean? And I was edgy right away. Like, what do you mean? And she goes, I watched you this morning. You're passionate. You're casting vision. And here's where we're going. Then you're praying with it. He goes, you don't bring that here.
I said, when you come home, you're a dud.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Sunday night. You can't say that to a man on Sunday night.
I know.
I think you found your Nathan. I think you found your Nathan at your
God just
kitchen
put
table.
Nathan in the house
I
with
don't
you.
need her right now.
And man, if God would have done that with Nathan or with David, who knows?
You guys, I was so bad. We've written books of how not to do that.
I jumped up and said something to the effect. I don't even know. I got hot. I'm like, let me tell you. I know the men at this church. You got the best husband in this whole stinking church. Let me tell you, they're losers compared to me. But she was right. She was right in terms of I brought it.
The energy.
And I'm not saying I should walk in the house like, but it was like a different level.
Yeah.
Like there was a part of me that thought when you said earlier, it's like, when I drive home, I have this mailbox now. It's like, take the job, put it in there.
Yeah.
Dad, husband, let's go.
Yeah.
Second shift. I've never heard that term. That's
I like
so
that.
good.
Yes, J.R.
And I'm
Baxter.
like, I was not doing
Yeah.
that. And that was on me. It's like, I need to bring the most important disciples in my life. I'm right here.
Yeah.
What am I doing,
We have a book called How to Speak Life to Your Husband.
Yeah.
When all you want to do is yell at him.
Yeah, I think that's amazing.
So you can
It's a
say,
great
I'm trying to get better.
Yeah.
So that has been
so
something you've
great.
had to navigate as well.
Yes.
The spiritual part of your marriage
absolutely.
relationship.
I think so for sure. I think I am more, and I don't quite know why. I think I've been more timid there with Lauren than I have with others.
That's a good word. That's what I do.
And I don't know.
Well, it's
I
more
don't know.
vulnerable. It's more
maybe
vulnerable.
that's what it is, where I don't feel timid with the elders. I don't feel timid with the church. I don't, but I can feel.
That's interesting.
Well, and I think part of it's like, and this is just
Imposter
a conversation. It might be like in psychology, that idea of golden child.
Yeah.
I wonder, like, if I'm just going, gosh, she's so fierce. Does she want me to lead that way?
Oh, really?
And then I wouldn't even know, like, okay, what does that look like now for me to lead that way? If I know exactly how that looks, if you give me a room full of 12 men, or I'm speaking to, I'm trying to move a congregation.
Right.
Man, that is not gonna translate to leading. So I'm curious now.
Because you're
this
such
would
a
be a
strong
great date
leader.
night conversation for us
And you're
now.
a strong leader too, so.
That word timid is.
That's what I feel. That's what I have felt
Yeah.
around it.
Yeah.
You would
Like,
say
how?
that. And you didn't
How
have
to
a
do
dad. Dave never had a dad.
I didn't
that
have a model,
modeled
but
it.
I always felt like she's so capable. She
Yeah.
doesn't need me at home.
Yeah.
She's got
A
it.
lot of men feel that.
I would
got it.
imagine.
Yeah, I don't know.
Especially because I feel like a lot of women, like I went to this like little prayer room yesterday, and it was completely filled with women, and it was the time of day, which makes more sense that
Right.
women might have some flexibility there, but it does seem like women just are already kind of there. And so I can see how that would be intimidating for a man, and even for you. So I hope your listeners are encouraged.
Yeah.
And I think for you, if I were to share just maybe an invitation of, hey, the Lord's putting this on my heart. What do you think? Yeah. I kind of want to try this out in our home or for us. And, just inviting me into that, I think is a great way to start instead of, okay, this is what we're doing, because I for sure will be like, hold on.
See that? And there's the timidity, right? Where I'm like,
Yeah.
So I'm helping you,
Or even
invite
kids
me.
like, Dad, what are you doing?
Yeah.
The kids, I think I'm less timid with the kids and probably
Okay.
more timid with Lauren, but I don't, like you have always felt that way to me. So I've always been like, I think we're good at home. I think things are really good at home.
They are. I do feel like where you are personally at home with the Lord is contagious.
Yeah.
And so I think that always helps. But just
I've said
inviting
that
us.
to Dave too, like, man, the power that you have.
Yeah.
Even with our sons, when he
Yes.
says something, they're like locked in.
different,
And
yeah.
I'm jealous of it.
Yeah.
I don't think he understands the power that he carries.
I'm powerful. That's what I
not
am.
being like,
Talking about.
not being that
Talking
big
about.
leader, but just his voice.
The weight.
Of a
Yeah,
dad.
the weight.
Well,
That's huge.
let's talk parenting.
Yeah, let's do
Because
it.
raising kids in the ministry, and I'm guessing you
Yeah.
had the same dream we had. We want our boys to be walking with the Lord when
Oh,
they're
yeah.
men.
Warriors.
Yes, that's what we want.
How did that go, and how is that going? And what would you say to parents trying
We
to
don't
do
have
that?
much time. Maybe we could do like, here's something.
We got 15 minutes.
Do we?
Yeah, Matt could be late. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I certainly can't.
No,
but
we
it's fine.
can't.
Yeah.
We can definitely
We've
touch
got
on
about
some
10,
things.
12 minutes.
Yeah, like
Well,
here's
where
what
do you
we
wanna go?
did right, and here's something I wish we would have done a little different.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, that's good. You start, babe.
Yeah, she
I
is
take a little longer to
deeper
think,
processor than
He's
I
like
am,
quick.
apparently.
You're just quick.
I used to say I was fast and she was slow, and she's like, I'm not slow.
I used to say that too.
I'm
It's
deeper.
not-
And I'm
Like,
like,
I
well,
think
then are
of
you
all the
saying I'm
layers.
shallow? Anyway,
No.
we'll work through it. We'll work through it on date night with
Yeah,
this
it's
other
fine.
conversation you guys have helped us with. But I thought we did a exceptional job at time.
Really?
For all that we were doing, like I coached teams, I was present, I was eager to get home to be with them. I think we did that very well.
And your wife is agreeing.
yeah.
Yes.
It isn't, I thought I
Yeah,
did.
no.
I did
We usually
not.
look at the wife.
Yeah.
when the
No,
husband
yeah, and
says
that's
that.
that's smart.
We
Yeah.
brought them with us on some
Yes,
things. Like
my
they've
kids
gotten
have
to
better
take
passports than most adults.
amazing trips. Yeah, because he
Like
was
to
invited
Rwanda,
to speak somewhere.
and to
Yeah.
London, and
That's
to
great.
Australia, and to And then second thing I would say we did well is I took them with me when I went,
Yeah.
including hospital visits. I would take them with me if the hospital visit wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
I would take them with me. I just want them. This isn't Daddy's job. This is who Daddy is.
Oh, that's so
And
good.
and let's go. Come with me.
Yeah, that's
and
great.
we did. Like you saw me. Nora was with me
Yeah.
at PAO. That was a
Right.
trip that Lauren couldn't go on. She
Yeah.
had something going on, and so I said, Nora,
go.
I'm not taking one of our pastors so we can spend time scheming.
Yeah.
I'm taking my little girl,
Yeah.
and I'm going to
Sweet.
get great time with her. We're going to steal away one day and spend all day at Disney, and I'm laying my yes down.
Yeah.
So there's no reason for me to say no. So you tell me what you want to do.
Sweet.
And so I think we did that really well. Gosh, the list of what we didn't do well, I think, is much longer.
Yes.
I think it's much longer. I think there were things about each one of our kids that we caught late.
Yeah.
And by the time we caught it, there had been some damage done. Each of my kids responded differently to being Matt Chandler's kid.
Us too.
I had a kid that hated it, loved the perks, but hated it. Like when this kid was a kid, like if other little kids at the Christian school would try to be this kid's friend, there was this kind of, do they really want to be my friend?
Motives.
And then if they ever ask about me, she'd put them in the category of, and then later moved to public school, and there were people, oh, aren't you that priest's kid, or aren't you that? And holy kid, and she dang sure wasn't going to be that. And we caught that stuff late. And then the other two have had different, but like it. And then
what would you have done if you would have caught it earlier?
I think all I know to do is go after their heart in it, and try to soothe whatever part is broken. Try to get at which the kid might not even understand.
Right. They probably don't even know.
Right. And so I mean, this as a parent, you're always brutal on yourself more than. I think I think me getting bad sick. When they were little, marked them in a unique way.
The older two.
How old were they when that happened?
6, 4, and 6 months.
What do you mean? What way did it mark them?
So I think for one of my kids, they had a very hard time trusting God after that. Like even though God healed me, and I would bring that up, I'm here. I've been healed. But in that little soul,
so hard to reconcile.
But why would he let that happen to you? Like why would he? And there still is a wrestle in that kid,
which is understandable.
Totally.
Can he fully be trusted? Can I really trust him with my whole life? Which is heartbreaking for me. Heartbreaking for me.
Yeah, I bet.
And so
yet we all still ask that question.
No doubt.
We do.
No doubt.
We do.
That's interesting.
I think too, we allowed some influences in their lives that I think we did not use discernment in. And I think I know the Lord can use anything, but if I could go back, I would have stayed in there more instead of just letting that person kind of come
people?
in. People that I trusted,
adult.
Adults,
not like another kid.
Where I thought they would be a good influence, and there was just an unhealthy back edge to it, where I could have been there.
So you wish you would have stayed in that relationship.
Yes, a little bit tighter, not kind of given that person space. So I think that's a regret or something I would do differently. And then even just speaking into who God made them to be, like being more vocal about what I saw in them that was good, that I know God planted in them. I know I said it, but I'm just like, did I say it enough? I'm not sure. Because I think so often we can get stuck on their behavior, or we see a trajectory and we're like, we're trying to like avoid pain as much as possible. And so that can communicate maybe a message to them that just through their little filters gets skewed a little bit, or probably the voice of the enemy just grabs it, and uses something that you did not intend it to be used that way. So some of it's, in your control, some of it's out of your control. And so another thing would be just praying, just continue. Like, I think I prayed well.
More contending prayer.
But more contending prayer as they were growing up. But I contend now.
How about adult kids? You've got one married.
And that's
does that
like,
feel different?
Yes. And that's why I contend even more, because I realize how much control I do not have.
I don't think that is talked about enough with adult children. You have no control anymore. And it takes your breath away.
It
does. I have no control.
And you better pick your spots.
Yes.
For the sake of the relationship.
Yes.
So
you don't want to crush that.
You don't. So it's a challenge, but just learning to be a friend and to not say things and to pray them instead.
That's why prayer becomes so huge. The older you get, like, it's the only thing I have.
Yeah.
It's the only thing I can do.
Which was probably true when we were younger people.
Exactly.
But
we're seeing it now.
But we thought we had control.
Strength and vigor. I got this.
Exactly right.
Yeah, control is certainly an illusion.
Yeah.
Yes.
And like cheering them on in the adulting decisions they're making and even in their mistakes. Like, their mistakes have been made and I'm like, you know what? I hate that for you, but I'm so proud of how you have been resilient in this and you've made the most of it and you haven't given up. And that to me is more impressive than if everything went great.
Yes.
That's good.
That's really good.
Well, I'll end with this. I know, your older man has another meeting he has to go to. So
Older man.
It's a prayer meeting.
And I am going with them.
Meeting, so.
I'm going with them. But yes.
No, thanks a ton. I know your lives is busy.
Thank you.
For opening up your church and letting us come in and do this. It's been a privilege. Thanks.
No, thank you
Thanks
guys
for
your impact on the
and for your
world.
ministry.
Seriously, your impact has been
It's powerful. Cool, Matt, because when our middle son got married first, and I think they were in their first year of marriage, and they're like figuring out, growing, and she said, "I'm listening to this pastor right now." I'm like, "Who is it?" Matt Chandler. And so I started listening to you, like when I want to hear who she's listening to, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this is so good." So thank you for impacting. The entire country and parts of the world. And Lauren, you are incredible.
She is.
Thank you for making Matt younger and better.
Both of those are true. Both of those are true. I love it.
Thank y'all.
Hey, thanks for watching. And if you like this episode,
you better like it.
Just hit that like button.
And we'd like you to subscribe. So all you got to do is go down and hit the subscribe. I can't say the word subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. I don't think I can say this word.
Like and subscribe.
Look at that. You say it so easy. Subscribe. There it goes.